Hello, this is part 2 of my linear equations video. This video is going to be quite short because I'm only just going to be covering how to create a linear equation from a table. So let's get started. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to do is draw a table with my x and y values. So for my x values, let's just put them in a descending order from 1 to 5 to make sure we understand the pattern that is occurring. And for my y values, I will just be selecting some random numbers that have a certain pattern to them, and I will be explaining that pattern later on in the video. Okay, now that I have my table, I'll be showing you how I will create a linear equation from it. So the first thing that I'll do is write my linear equation just to make sure that I understand what variables I need to plug in to the certain letters. So remember that m is the slope and b is the beginning number, or in other words, the y-intercept. Alright, now that we have that out of the way, the first thing I'm going to do is I will try to identify what pattern is occurring in this table. So when I go from 2 to 4, I notice that I add 2. And when I go from 4 to 6, I know that I also add 2. From 6 to 8 is also plus 2. And from 8 to 10 is plus 2 as well. Now, if you will notice, they all increase by the same number each time, which means that this is a linear equation. If it is not increasing by the same number each time, then it is not a linear equation, and thus you cannot use this equation. So make sure that it is increasing by the same constant, a value that does not change each time. Now that we know that it is increasing by a certain number each time, I now know what my m value is, because remember that another way that you can think of m is how much it moves by, which is 2. So I will substitute 2 for my m, 2x. Great. The only thing that we need is our b value now. Now, one thing to note when you are looking at a table is when I refer to a beginning number, I don't mean the value of y when x is 1. I mean the value of y when x is 0. So to get what my y value will be when x is 0, I just have to subtract 2. And then I will get my 0th value. 2 minus 2 is 0, so my b value will be 0. So y equals 2x plus 0. You don't necessarily have to put this in as your b value because it does not affect the equation in any way. So you can really just write this as y equals 2x. And that is how you create a linear equation from a table. I will now be providing you some practice problems to solve on your own.